The funny Canadian show Letterkenny has become more and more popular over the past few years, which has been one of the biggest surprises on TV. The show takes place in the town's name in Ontario, Canada, and follows Wayne, a country boy, and the many colorful people who live there. The jokes on the show come so fast and furious that you're bound to miss some of them. And because the show insults faster and harder than almost any other show, there are a lot of funny quotes from it that show how it is written differently. First, pitter patter, your sister's hot, Wayne, and vomit on your mom's spaghetti. A lot of the time, the main characters of Letterkenny say things that seem common but have never been said before.
Thank you.
Your sister's hot, Wayne. There, I said it. I said it. I regret nothing. I regret nothing.
There are also some classic lines that they have made their own over the years. Pitter patter, let's get at her, is Wayne and his crew's all-too-perfect way of saying that there's no time to waste when a job comes up, and it's heard often in the series when their plans work out. Next, your sister's hot, Wayne. There, I said it. I said it. I regret nothing. I regret nothing. Wayne and Daryl's friend and co-worker Squirrely Dan, played by K. Trevor Wilson, has a crush on Wayne's sister Katie, but Wayne, who is the toughest guy in Letterkenny, tells him not to act or say anything about it. But Squirrely Dan once told Wayne that he thought about Katie, but he quickly, for him, ran across a field to get away from Wayne after the comments were too honest. Most of the time, Katie responds to Squirrely Dan's subtle flirting in a playful way, but she also often calls him out for his gross behavior. Third, vomit on your mom's spaghetti, or whatever that talking singer says. Even though Letterkenny is mostly about the hicks and skids who live in the town, the series also shows hockey players to show how important that sport is in some parts of Canada. The unnamed coach, played by Mark Forward, of the teams that Riley and Jonesy play for, has a certain way with words, which he usually shouts while kicking a trash can. He also sometimes tries to use popular songs or sayings, like when he tried to use lyrics from Eminem's Lose Yourself in a speech to get his team pumped up. Next, Jonesy, your life is so pathetic. I'd say give your a tug and your 10-ply, bud.
It's our cheat day.
We're gonna be ripping silly plyometrics right after this, so they cancel each other out.
Then it's arms. Just ripping concentration curls.
Just ripping crossbody hammer curls.
First, Jonesy, your life is so pathetic, I get a charity tax break just by hanging around you. Jonesy and Riley can insult hicks, skids, and even hockey players. But when they first met Shorzy on the older hockey team, they met their match. Shorzy is also played by Jared Kiso, but his face is never shown. During a shouting match between Shorzy and Jonesy, the younger hockey player was put in his place by Shorzy, who used a few quick words to tear down his life. This showed how the show became known for its quick-witted insults over time. Next, I'd say give your a tug, but it looks like your pants are doing that for you. Wayne is a country boy who likes things the way they used to be. He's proud of the fact that he's tough and works hard, and he won't put up with people who aren't the same. He doesn't hesitate to criticize anyone he thinks is weaker than him. Give your tug is one of his favorite insults, but when he sees Stuart standing in front of him wearing skinny jeans, he has to change the insult a little. Third, your 10-ply, bud. The characters in the show are always coming up with new and funny ways to insult each other. When you hear some of the verbal jabs, it's hard not to add them to your own vocabulary for a future war of words. When someone who thinks he's the toughest guy in town challenges Wayne to a fight, Wayne doesn't back down. Before he calls the man 10-ply, he makes quick work of him. It must hurt to be compared to the softest tissue you can think of. Moving on. If you got a problem with Canada Gooses, I see the muscle shirt came today, and wish you weren't so awkward, bud. First, if you got a problem with Canada Gooses, you got a problem with me, and I suggest you let that one marinate. Many of the things that Wayne and his friends believe in are worthy of them taking a position and fighting for, and they are willing to do so. Both of them appear to experience a great deal of rage whenever a major Canadian icon, such as the Canada Goose, is put in jeopardy. Everyone in the group loses their minds after learning that the golf club wants to get rid of the geese that are residing in the region. When Wayne defends them, he becomes quite protective and adds the humorous line, and I suggest you let that one marinate, to each threat. This is done in an attempt to make the situation seem less serious. Next, I see the muscle shirt came today. Muscles coming tomorrow? The one person who seems to be the complete antithesis of Wayne is Stuart, the slender goth kid. Every time Stuart and Wayne cross paths, Stuart makes an attempt to stand up to Wayne, but Wayne responds by insulting Stuart. When Stuart refers to Wayne and his friends as shirt tuckers, they continue to give him a difficult time in a level-headed and consistent manner. The most insulting thing that Wayne ever said to Stuart was when he made fun of his clothes while also making fun of how thin he looked. Third, wish you weren't so awkward, bud. It seems as though Wayne and Daryl are inseparable, as they are constantly seen hanging out together. Despite this, it does not imply that they always see eye to eye. Daryl has a tendency to behave more like a child at times, in contrast to Wayne, who is a very serious person. When Daryl and his buddies are hanging out outside the fruit stand, just like every other time, he spots a clover with 4 leaves on it. He encourages everyone else to make a wish, which brings a smile to his face. Although Wayne is talking about how awkward his friend is, he is not looking at him at all during the conversation. Next up, I could watch kids fall, figure it out, and your mom just like mine. First, I could watch kids fall off bikes all day, figure it out. The way they use language to make people laugh on the show is pretty impressive. But even though the writing is sometimes sharp and funny, they aren't afraid to use the most childish jokes they can. One whole episode is just about how funny farting is. Even Wayne, who's usually a pretty serious guy, says that farting is about the only thing as funny as kids falling off bikes. He says that he could watch things like that all day. And then he says, I don't give a shit about your kid. Next, figure it out. Fans probably won't find another show that makes them feel more proud to be Canadian than Letterkenny. The show goes out of its way to show how great it is to live in the Great White North, and why the characters think it is better than anywhere else on Earth. In one scene, the characters start to talk about all the great things Canadians have that Americans don't. People are disappointed when they hear that Americans don't use malt vinegar as a table condiment or sell ketchup chips. They just shake their heads and say, work it out. Third, your mom just liked my Instagram post from 2 years ago in Puerto Vallarta. The whole show is mostly a setup for the characters to insult each other, or chirp, and Shorzy is the meanest one of them all. The rude hockey player whose face is never shown likes to talk to Riley and Jonesy about their mothers. His insults are so strange and funny, but they are also very hurtful. When he says that their mother has been reading his Instagram posts, he really gets to them. Finally, call me a cake, sing us a song or something, and it's like algebra. First, call me a cake, cause I'll go straight to your ass, cowboy. Gail, the first bartender at Modine's, the local watering hole in Letterkenny, is portrayed by Lisa Codrington. As a result of Gail's possible pathological addiction to and the fact that she has a crush on Wayne, there are a lot of amusing, uncomfortable, and occasionally shocking phrases that she says. One of her less hilarious statements, but one that was still funny, was when she tried to entice Wayne to sleep with her by suggesting that she was like a piece of cake that was loaded with calories. Gail's incredibly understated efforts to win Wayne's favor in their relationship were never successful. Next, sing us a song or something. Do a trick. Useless. The insults are hurled at the target of the act at such a rapid pace that the target has very little time to formulate a response before another insult is hurled at them. Some of the most hilarious parts of the program are when Wayne insults other characters in a rapid-fire style, which he is very skilled at doing. When the hockey guy visits the fruit stand, Wayne sells them whatever they want without any resistance. He belittles and humiliates them before informing them that they are completely pointless, and all they can do is stand there in disbelief. Lastly, it's like algebra. Why you gotta put numbers and letters together? Why can't you just yourself? To Wayne, it is important that his life be as uncomplicated as it can possibly be. In addition to this, he does not have much patience for those who attempt to make things more difficult. As a consequence of this, he has a tendency to be somewhat critical of Letterkenny at times. When Wayne and his buddies decide to create a social networking site devoted to flatulence, the concept catches on quickly, and soon everyone is eager to share their thoughts. When the goth kids make an attempt to say something, Wayne informs them that they are making things too difficult for themselves, and then offers his own condescending solution to the problem. Which would you consider the greatest quote from the film? Comment below. Unfortunately, that is all the time we had for today. Thanks for sticking with us till the very end. Make sure to like and subscribe for more amazing videos. Till next time, cheers.